Hello world, Geriatric Geek here. How in the heck are you? I hope you're doing great. It's a beautiful morning here in North Las Vegas. It's Monday, June 22nd, 2020. It's going to be a hot one here today, about 108. So basically we're going to stay inside. We're going to stay inside, so stay out of that heat. So as you can tell by the description, the old boy's got a couple movies from Warner Archive sent over for me to review and tell you about. I did not pay for these. They sent this over to me so that I could tell you about them. So here we go. You know me, I love my horror. I watch horror, at least 2 horror movies most every day. So it's kind of a nice break for me to get away from the horror a little bit, you know. And so that's what kind of these 2 did for me. One being Head of the Class, the complete first season. So this aired in 1986, and it began in 1986. My kids were fairly young then, so I don't remember whether they watched this or not. But I remember it coming on, and you know, I didn't watch it a whole lot, but I've watched the entire, 12 of the 22. I believe there are 22 episodes in the first season. I've watched 12 of them. So far, I've really enjoyed them for what they are. It's a sitcom. It's a situational comedy. The main guy in here, of course, is Howard Hessman, who played Dr. Johnny Fever in WKRP. I enjoyed him. For me, he's the main person. He's the main man. He's the driving force of this show, and especially during the first season, I can tell most of the kids, including Robin Givens and the rest of them, you could tell they were a little nervous, and I could tell that anyway. But you know, after a while, they started getting into the rhythm of their acting, and they start doing better. But basically, this thing is set in an honor. Is basically all of it's done in one schoolroom. You know, there are a few other scenes outside of it, but very few. So this is done in a schoolroom in a fictional high school in New York, in Manhattan. Basically, it's an IAH class, or excuse me, an IHP class, Individualized Honors Program. Consists of 10 kids, at least the first couple seasons did. And man, these kids are smart. That's why they're there, and they're protected by the principal. The principal was, of course, Principal Dr. Samuels. He was Charlie Moore was the teacher. That's that fella. He was a substitute teacher. He wasn't supposed to be there. He was supposed to just sit there in the corner and babysit, basically. But you know what? He thought, I'm here. These are a really good bunch of kids, so he tried. And as far as I'm concerned, he made some headway with their lives. I mean, these kids knew stuff. They knew more than he did, factually, I suppose. But he knew more about life, and it was his whole. So basically, he's going to go from a sub. I don't want to tell you the whole thing, but he goes from a sub to a regular teacher, and he does it. I really enjoyed each one of these episodes. Is kind of it has its own story, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there is some continuity during the season as far as Charlie's concerned, but each episode stands on its own, so you could really watch any of them and understand what's going on. So I liked it, Let me show you the back real quick, and you can pause that and read it for yourself if you're interested. So this is the first time released on home media by Warner Archive. It's a MOD, made on demand. Basically, it's first time because they had some trouble with the music rights, which is normal for these kind of problems, or these kind of programs rather. So, in a nutshell, let me just say that Charlie encourages his students to think rather than merely know. He has some unorthodox teaching methods. I like it. That's really how you encourage, and make interest and get kids interested. We really need to do a lot more of this kind of teaching in our high schools today, but it is what it is. Anyway, so Head of the Class, first season. It's available now. Can anyone guess? Let me ask you guys. Can anyone guess what horror movie Howard Hesseman was in? Leave a comment down below if you know what horror movie Howard Hesseman was in. That's right. He was in a horror movie. He was somebody called Uncle Meat. I'll let you figure that out, but Uncle Meat. So anyway, all right. My favorite student in here is a guy named Arvid. He kind of reminds me of, from the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, and I wouldn't be surprised if Big Bang Theory didn't get kind of based off of this kind of a situation. I don't know that for sure, and none of my reading has that ever been mentioned, but boy, these kids sure, the whole dynamic reminds me of what happens in Big Bang also. Of course, this was out 20 years before Big Bang was, so it's possible. It's possible. So anyway, I like it. I do recommend it if you want to sit your kids down and let them learn some life lessons while they're sitting at home. This is one way to do it. I like it. So I'm glad to have it. I'm enjoying watching it. Like I said, I've got through 12 episodes. I'm going to finish it. So there you go. I do recommend it. From Warner Archive. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can pick it up. I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon, and if so, I'll leave a link for Amazon. So, Head of the Class, first season. Like I said, the kids weren't great in there. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. But they do get better as time goes on, so I kind of like that idea. And next, this is kind of a fun one too, I thought. I'm not completely through it yet because it's just a little bit longer, but it's Pennyworth. Who the heck is Pennyworth, you might ask? This is the first season. It appeared on Epix as a crime drama. Has 10 full episodes. They're an hour long a piece. So yeah, Pennyworth. I'll be honest with you, I did not know Alfred from Batman, DC Universe. You can see this is DC. His last name was for some reason I did not know his last name was Pennyworth. Maybe I did know and I've forgotten, but anyway. Yeah, Jack Bannon plays Alfred Pennyworth, who goes on, of course, in DC lore to become the butler for Batman, and his father first, and then Batman. But just so you know, this thing will kind of tease you into believing it's something that's going to give a backstory for Batman. It basically does not do that, so it's kind of confusing in that regard. You learn who he is and what he was, but then it kind of goes that way. It doesn't go anywhere near, kind of the whole Batman thing. This is basically a prequel to the Batman story about Alfred Alfred Thaddeus Crane Pennyworth. What a name. It explores the early life of Alfred, the former British SAS soldier, who is forming his own security company in London, where he joins up with, that's right, Thomas Wayne and Martha Kane, the future parents of Bruce Wayne, the Batman. So the No Name League is fighting against the Raven Society in here. The No Name League. Doesn't that sound familiar? I'm not gonna ruin this one for you guys, but very interesting. Good storyline. I enjoyed it. So far I've enjoyed it. I've watched, let's see, 3 episodes of this. It's 3 hours. It's an hour long, so that's 3 hours in. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I first thought it was going to be a Batman kind of tie-in, but very little of that. So don't get your hopes up there. So he's fighting against this Raven Society that's plotting to take over the British government, kill the Queen, maybe. So I really like they have great characters in here, great set pieces. It doesn't do anything to further the Batman story. It does not. So, you know, there's that. So in here, see, Thomas Wayne is a forensic what the heck is he? Forensic accountant, and that's how Alfred meets up with him. But really good storyline. Like I said, if you're into DC Batman, I suggest you at least read, get this and watch it for that angle. Like I said, don't expect it to tell you much more, but you do learn a little bit about Alfred and how he handled how he got to where he ended up, you know, in America. Basically started his own security company and moved to America, where he then basically takes over and does his thing here. So there you go. This is available Tuesday, tomorrow, the 23rd. I'll leave a link for where you can pick up Pennyworth. Let me show that again, in case you didn't see it before. At your service, Alfred Pennyworth, a former British soldier in his 20s, forms a security company in the 60s, London, and goes to work with young billionaire Thomas Wayne, years before he becomes Bruce Wayne's father. With England balancing on the brink of a civil war, the first skirmishes of the undeclared secret war have begun. In this world of secrets and betrayals, we find Alfred Pennyworth. 9 years of training with the SAS has taught him to be a cynical optimist, expecting the worst but knowing that he can handle it. Now, thrown back into the civilian world, Alfred's looking for freedom, security, and love. With his SAS mates, Beza and Dave Boy, Alfred's in search of an independent life and being his own man who doesn't take orders and never has to kill anyone. That's easier said than done for a man with his skill set. So, I recommend this one, guys, for at least one-time watch if you've not seen it. Pretty cool. So there you go. My 2 offerings from Warner Archive. This is MOD, and I believe this one's just a regular disc, but you can get these starting tomorrow, both of them tomorrow. But this one's out now, this one tomorrow. Hey, if you like these guys, if you've seen them, let me know down below what you liked, what you didn't like. Yeah, there's that. You guys keep having fun. I hope you enjoyed this little review. It's, you know, as far as both of these, I recommend both of them for different reasons. One, because of its DC kind of tie-ins, and the other because a lot of life lessons, a lot of neat stuff to learn there. You know, and there's nothing. Like, the only bad thing about either of them is this one is the kids aren't great in the first season, but they get better. And if this one, if there's a negative thing to say, it's that it doesn't really help expand the Batman lore at all. But other than that, fantastic. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I do appreciate you subscribing. I really do. Hey, and for those that want to subscribe or have subscribed, I do appreciate it. Because of that, I'm going to give away, that's right, the old boy's going to give away the complete, let me see, what am I going to give away? Oh, all right. Fear the Walking Dead, the complete second season. This will go to one of my subscribers. You have to be a subscriber. You also have to ask for this particular movie specifically in the comments below. You have to be the first one to do it. So, Fear the Walking Dead, the complete second season. For subscribers, you ask for it below, I'll give it to you. All you have to do is send me an email. I'll leave a link in your comments as to where you can send me an email, and I'll get this out to you. Hey, so just as thank you for subscribing, I do appreciate it. And again, you guys keep smiling, keep having fun. Until next time, peace.